Good morning, boys and girls. Our book today is called Curious George Plants a Tree, and it's written by Margaret and H.A. Rays. George was a good little monkey and always very curious. Today was a good day to be curious. The man with the yellow hat was taking George to the Science Museum. The museum was one of George's favorite places. There was always something new to see and interesting to learn. Often there was a special exhibit. George wanted to know what it was today. But first he had to make his favorite museum stops: the rocket room, the mirror maze, and the butterfly space. Finally, George and his friend made it to the special exhibits room. The sign read, "How you can take care of our planet." George learned many things: how all people, animals, plants, air, and water on the planet make up the environment, how trees help keep the air clean, and how people can help protect the environment from pollution and too much trash. George had a great time and didn't get into any of his usual mischief. That means trouble. As he and his friend were leaving, they bumped into the museum director. Dr. Lee looked happy to see him. "How is my best monkey visitor?" Dr. Lee asked George. "I'm so glad I ran into you. I wanted to tell you that we're having a Green Day rally tomorrow at the park." George was curious. Whatever a rally was, he was sure that the park was a good place to do it. "We're going to plant a truckload of trees and collect used paper for recycling," Dr. Lee explained. "We didn't have much time to advertise, but we need lots of volunteers. How would you like to help out?" There was nothing that George liked better than to help. "What a great idea," the man agreed. "We'll be there." That night, George was ready to do his part for the recycling drive. He gathered every newspaper in the house. He stacked old mail on top of the papers. He piled empty cardboard boxes and food cartons on top of that. What a heap! A heap is like a big pile. What more could he add? George scratched his head. Then he took several books off his bedroom shelf. Just as George was about to add them to his recycling pile, someone lifted the books out of his hand. "Not so fast, George," the man said. "These books are made of paper, all right, but you can read and enjoy them many times, and when you're done, you can donate them to other kids or your library. Reusing is just as important as recycling." The next morning, George and his friends set out for the park with their wagon of neatly stacked paper. Suddenly, the man stopped and said, "I forgot my gardening gloves." "Go on without me, George. I'll be there soon." As George walked down the street, he spotted several newspapers lying about on his neighbor's front stoops. George had an idea. He had lots of room in his wagon. He could recycle all those newspapers. Why do you think those newspapers are there, though, right in front of the houses? Are they supposed to be put in the recycling bin, or are those people going to wake up and open their door and get their newspaper and read it? Not if George takes it. And the newspapers were not the only things he could recycle. He noticed a stack of paper cups sitting on a table under a tree. Into the wagon they went. Look, they're making a lemonade stand, though, and George just took their cups. So did a pile of magazines and a heap of papers someone left on the sidewalk. This is a moving truck, so these are some papers for someone's house. George was happy with his great load. At the park, he found Dr. Lee standing under a big banner. "Good morning, George," Dr. Lee said. "I'm so glad you came and brought all your friends. We need lots of help to get the job done." George turned around. He was surprised to see so many faces, but they did not look very helpful. They looked angry. Oh no. The man with the yellow hat arrived just in time. He explained to their neighbors that George was gathering paper for a good cause. They were no longer mad. They even stayed to help plant the trees. "George, you saved our green day," Dr. Lee said with gratitude. "These trees will provide fresher air, and each summer we'll have more shade, which means we'll use less water to keep the grass green. Thank you." Being a monkey, George had known all along how important trees were. This is a list of things that you can do to conserve energy or resources. So it says use both sides of your piece of paper, make your own playthings out of cardboard boxes and paper towel rolls, talk to your teacher about classroom recycling for next year, donate your books to a library, donate your clothes to a charity. At meal times, don't take more food than you can finish. Sometimes we get lots of food on our plate and our belly is not that hungry, and then it goes into the trash. Turn off the lights, air conditioning, and heat when it's not in use. Look for the recycling symbol on packages when you shop. Fill the bathtub up only halfway. Turn off the water while you're brushing your teeth. Ask your parents to buy rechargeable batteries. Use old kitchen containers and utensils as sand and water toys. Volunteer to help clean up at your local park. Open the curtains during the day to let the sun warm your house. Close the curtains at night to keep the heat in. Take care of your houseplants. They help purify the air. Make your own birthday and holiday cards. Use newspaper comics to wrap gifts. If you live near your school, walk or bike instead of driving. Take your own bags to the grocery store. Help plant a tree and watch it grow. So we're actually going to look at number 20, and we're going to pretend if we planted a tree, what would be the things that tree would need in order to survive? So I have my paper and I have some markers, and I'm going to draw a picture that has my plant in it and all the things that plants need in order to survive. I'm missing my clipboard, so I'm going to have to use this board. So I'm going to start with green. Remember, if you don't have things to draw, you can pause the video to go get them. I'm going to start with green to make my plant. I'm going to make a flower. So I'm going to start kind of in the middle of the paper, and I'm going to make a stem. I'm not going to go all the way down because plants need soil or dirt, and that's going to go under there. And I'm going to have some leaves. Kind of look like a sideways teardrop. So I go up and down. A stem with leaves. Then I'm going to choose a color for the top of my flower. I'm going to go with purple. And I'm going to make a tulip. So I'm going to make a big U shape. U. And then I'm going to do zigzags across the top to show the petals. So I'm going to start here and go down, up, down, up, down. Then I'll color it in. My whole tulip is going to be purple. Then at the bottom, I said that I wasn't going to take my stem all the way down because our plants need soil. So what color do you think I should use for the soil or the dirt? Sometimes if you go to the gardening store, you might buy some special dirt for your garden. Sometimes you just use the dirt that's in the ground. I'm going to find a brown. And I'm gonna color the bottom brown for the soil because plants need soil to live. I'm gonna do it lightly. Now, most of the time when plants grow, either they might be in mulch or have grass or weeds around them, so there could be more green. Here's my soil. Then there are some other things that a plant needs to grow. Needs air, which I'm gonna leave white because I'm not really sure how to draw air. Also needs sunlight. So I'm gonna use my yellow to make a sunshine. I'm gonna draw the sun in the corner. So I'm just gonna go from here to here. Make some rays, color it in. Plants need sun. Let's make those rays a little bit thicker so you can see them. Plants need air, soil, sunlight, and something that comes from a cloud. So I'm going to use gray to make a little cloud on the other side of my sunshine. If I were to go to the park like George and plant plants or trees, I would need to make sure that they have everything they need. Color in my cloud. And then from my cloud, I'm gonna add some raindrops because that is what is gonna provide my flower with the water that it needs. Let's see, having a hard time finding a blue. Got it. So from my cloud, to show all the things that a plant needs, I'm gonna add some raindrops. And that rain is gonna make my plant super happy and healthy. So plants need sunlight, soil, which holds the nutrients or like the fruits and vegetables that they need to be a healthy plant. It needs rain and air to stay alive. If you've never seen one before, you should ask mom and dad to look up an air plant so you can see what it looks like. And those plants actually don't have to live in dirt. They can live in a little glass jar. They can hang and just have water and the sunlight and the air. They're super cool. Ask your mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, aunt, uncle to send me a picture of what you drew and showing all the things that a plant needs to live. Bye-bye.